Good evening, and thank you for joining us this Sunday. We begin with outrage and mourning after Israeli forces recovered the bodies of 6 hostages held by Hamas. Among them is Israeli-American Hersh Goldberg-Polin. His family said his funeral will take place on Monday afternoon in Jerusalem. President Joe Biden released a statement saying he was, quote, devastated and outraged by the news. And Secretary of State Antony Blinken has met virtually with the families. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb begins our coverage tonight from East Jerusalem. Imtiaz, good evening to you.
Good evening. Well, tens of thousands of Israelis have taken to the streets in grief and fury tonight following the announcement 6 hostages, including an American, had been killed in Gaza, and to demand a ceasefire deal with Hamas, which would see the remaining captives freed.
The 6 have been identified as Ori Danino, Alex Lobanov, Almog Sarusi, Carmel Gat, Eden Yerushalmi, and Israeli-American Hersh Goldberg-Polin. Within hours of Eden Yerushalmi's body being returned to her family, they gathered to say their anguished final goodbyes. Almog Sarusi's loved ones were also overcome with grief at his burial. His mother Norah saying, "We love you and you will stay in our hearts." Israeli-American Hersh Goldberg-Polin's parents, whose campaign to bring attention to the plight of the hostages took them around the world, including addressing last month's Democratic Party convention.
Hersh, stay strong. Survive.
Issued a statement saying, with broken hearts, the Goldberg-Polin family is devastated to announce the death of their beloved son and brother, Hersh. According to Israel's Ministry of Health, preliminary autopsy reports have found all 6 were shot in the head between 48 and 72 hours ago, with the Israeli military saying Hamas was responsible. The news of the killings triggered spontaneous mass demonstrations across Israel, including outside Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office in Jerusalem.
Well, the announcement of the 6 hostages' death has really triggered this wave of national grief, but also a deep, deep sense of anger.
Many blame Netanyahu for, in their words, sabotaging a ceasefire deal with Hamas that's been under negotiations for months. Lee Siegel is the brother of Keith Siegel, an Israeli-American still being held in Gaza.
My message to Prime Minister Netanyahu is that my brother Keith and all the remaining hostages need to be home immediately.
In a taped address, Netanyahu said he was committed to reaching a deal that will, quote, return all of our hostages.
And tonight, President Biden called the Goldberg-Polins to express his condolences and said Hamas would, quote, pay for its crimes, while the ceasefire and hostage release talks between Israel and Hamas remain stubbornly stuck, Jerika, despite the majority of Israelis continuing to demand a deal.
Imtiaz Tayeb for us in East Jerusalem. Thank you.